War rooms are loud in memory, but in truth they are quiet. Men lean over tables. Maps lie open beneath steady hands. Decisions are made in low voices that assume privacy. In Richmond, inside the Confederate White House, those voices moved through rooms carried on cigar smoke and certainty. They believed the walls were loyal. They believed the servants were deaf. Mary Bowser stood within earshot of history and held a silver tray as if that were her only purpose. She had been born into slavery in Richmond, raised inside a system that trained black children to make themselves small. Intelligence in a black girl was something to hide. Curiosity was dangerous. Literacy was forbidden not because it was rare, but because it was powerful. Mary learned to read anyway. She learned to listen even more carefully than she read. She learned how much white men revealed when they believed no one of consequence was present. She was eventually freed and sent north, educated in a way the Confederacy would never have permitted had it understood what education produces. For a brief season, she lived beyond the reach of ownership. Then the war came, and the country began tearing itself open in defense of slavery. Mary chose to walk back into it. The Union needed information. Richmond held it. The Confederate White House required domestic workers, women who could cook and clean and move without drawing attention. Mary returned under an assumed identity, presenting herself as illiterate, compliant, forgettable. She stepped into Jefferson Davis's home not as a soldier but as furniture, and because they believed she could not read, they left papers where she could see them. Because they believed she could not understand, they discussed troop movements and supply shortages in her presence. Because they believed her mind did not matter, they never lowered their voices. Mary could read every word. She memorized documents left open on desks. She absorbed entire conversations while appearing to adjust curtains or refill glasses. Military strategies that shaped battles were stored in her memory and carried north through coded channels. She did not write them down. She did not hesitate. She remembered. Every day she walked through rooms where discovery would have meant execution. There would have been no trial for her. A black woman accused of espionage in the Confederate capital would have been hanged swiftly and without ceremony. She lived with that reality not as fear but as background. Constant, unspoken, understood. The horror of her life was not dramatic confrontation. It was endurance. It was listening to men defend slavery while knowing she was helping dismantle it. It was pouring tea for those who would have gladly returned her to bondage if they had known her mind was sharper than theirs. It was smiling when addressed and concealing the fact that she held their secrets. History would later praise generals and politicians, men whose names fit easily into marble. But intelligence flowed from Richmond in ways no monument records carried by a woman trained by slavery to disappear and educated enough to weaponize that disappearance. When the Confederacy fell, Mary Bowser did what she had always done best. She slipped out of sight. The historical record thins around her name. The details blur. Some accounts suggest suspicion grew too close. Others hint at reports and letters that never fully surfaced. What remains certain is that a black woman stood at the center of Confederate power and helped fracture it from within, and the men she served never understood how thoroughly they had been studied. Mary Bowser did not storm a battlefield. She stood in a room, she listened, and the rebellion began to unravel.